This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. I mean, as if I even need to really do a video on this, because it speaks for itself, does it not? But still, I want to show you some of the same signs and symbols that I keep showing you in the repetition with the, bloodbaths and the Freemasonry, right? Always paying homage to it. It's in everything and it's everywhere. And that is for this trailer for Hellboy. Now, I don't know what you got to be doing on a Friday night or Tuesday night, or maybe even you're a matinee goer, to actually want to leave your home to sit and watch such garbage. Look at this big red thing, right? Obviously, I mean, we know who that's supposed to be. It doesn't take a rocket scientist, even though if you go to the wiki page, Hellboy's a fictional superhero. The character first appeared in 1993, since appeared in various miniseries, blah, blah, blah. A well-meaning half-demon whose true name is Anung Un Rama. And upon his brow is set a crown of flame. Hellboy was summoned from hell to earth as a baby on October 5th by Nazi occultists. He was discovered by the Allied forces amongst it. I mean, just, you sit there and you go, who writes this crap, right? Well, people actually want to go see this. I mean, this big red thing walking around talking. But all of the same stuff that you see of the, preparation for the Antichrist, rising from the ashes, these are all quotes that are in the trailer. That a king is to come. He's to be the new king. This guy, Hellboy's to be the new king. He rises from the ashes. I mean, just some of the stuff is just, it's the same thing over and over, right? But Hollywood and the producers of the movie will tell you that they don't believe in the Bible, right? But all this stuff is always geared towards what? It's geared towards making and glorifying Satan to make him the hero, because that's pretty much what this does, right? This demon we're supposed to believe is Anung Un Rama. Why not just call the thing Ra and put a picture of Aleister Crowley on his chest? I mean, unreal. So let's look at this. There's some of the images from the actual trailer, okay? Because what they talk about is witchcraft and sorcery. Of course, I mean, why wouldn't they talk about it? Because, it's so original. We haven't heard that before. They're not trying to indoctrinate people and make the witches and the Satanists and everyone look cool and pretty amazing stuff. But it starts, they're summoning him. They're doing a satanic ritual, okay, out in a place that's supposed to look like Stonehenge. And, here comes this baby, this big red baby who was chosen to come here and fulfill prophecy. And what do they show? They show this guy walking, of course, on what? The black and white Masonic checkerboard, right? Of course he's walking on it. What else would he be walking on? I mean, how about hardwood floors? Anyone still like hardwood floors? Barely see those anymore. I mean, I know they're a little bit dated, but what about a rug, right? People used to like a rug, get out of the shower, instead of, the floor being cold, you got a nice cozy rug. Yeah, sure, they attract a lot of germs. You spill something on that rug, you're screwed. But you might think maybe one of these producers or directors would be like, you know what? I'm feeling rug today. I'm feeling rug. How about just a plain beige rug? Green rug? All right. Hunter green? Sure. No. It's the same thing over and over and over. And that's, of course, because Hollywood is all brought to you by Freemasonry and the buddies over at Bagelville who run and control. So they'll show you him on the black and white Masonic checkerboard. If you're not somebody who's familiar and you're new to the channel, Freemason Lodge in every town in America, these people will preach and tell you that they're nice, wonderful people. I'm not saying that there aren't people who have joined Freemasonry that aren't good people, but it's a corrupt organization. The higher you rise within Freemasonry, you learn that Lucifer is God. They use the term God because they deceive people into wanting them to think that they're actually Christian, and they're not. They're not. They do not follow Jesus Christ, okay? Which means they do not have salvation. And again, for the millionth time, anything labeled a secret society or secret group, there's nothing good going on there, right? What are they keeping secret? Why is it such a secret? Why don't you just come out and tell us if you're not doing anything bad? Oh, right, because we were all born yesterday. So you get your Masonic checkerboard. Of course, they say we need a king, and the king will rise from the ashes. I wonder who they could be referencing. I mean, maybe they're they're just referencing Tony Danza. I mean, what are we supposed to believe? I mean, this isn't supposed to be Satan rising from the ashes or anything like that. I mean, it's only called Hellboy, for crying out loud, right? So as they say these things about Satan rising from the ashes, what do we see? We see him making out with this woman as they're just, I mean, I don't know, maybe they called Adam Levine from Maroon 5 because it looks just like his video. They're just having blood dumped on their head as they make out, right? And this is your protagonist in the film. This is your hero, this big red goof. This is your hero. Blood dripping on him, making out, having the blood bath. These are all images and imagery that they're constantly using and constantly showing you for a reason. Because once your brain becomes desensitized to these things, it becomes accepting, and these things aren't shocking anymore. Right? Like if somebody was just to join something and they were like, oh, well, we do this blood bath. Oh, okay, well, they've seen it 8 trillion times in every music video and every movie. I'm sure they might be off-put at first, but they're desensitized. It's not shocking to them anymore because they've seen these things. They've seen the repetition and the symbols and the signs and these rituals ingrained in their minds. Okay? It's been ingrained in them because they see these things and their brain is in a sleeping state, alpha state. And all this stuff is just getting pumped into their brain without them stopping and thinking and saying, what are they showing me here? Your brain, it's going too fast. It's click, click, click. I said it in a previous video. These YouTube guys who are like big famous YouTubers, there's a reason that they jump cut, right? And they just talk and then without even a space or a second, they're onto another subject and they just keep going. It's so that you can't process any of it. Just like with these trailers. It's just jump, 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 jump. You can't process it, right? With these music videos, jump, jump, jump. Quick cuts. Don't let your brain, don't let anything in your head start to wake up to think about what you're hearing. Let it just all soak into the back of your mind, right? So we get this. We get the of course the blood baptism. We get Lucifer or whatever you want to call it, Hellboy, right? Raising hell here on earth, but he's the good guy. He's the hero. He's gonna save humanity, right? I mean, I'm surprised they don't just come out and say the enemy is Jesus Christ in the trailer. Because I'm sure there'll be some undertones about, he does say something about prophecy, mocking prophecy in one of the trailers too. But I mean, they might as well just have Jesus as the enemy, right? Instead of like just might as well, because that's just the point we're getting to, where we see this stuff over and over. Then they bring in witches and sorcerers and all this stuff, and they're like, oh, these people are cool too. Oh, this is just normal stuff, folks. So cool, so tough. The big bad Satan. I mean, it's amazing. It's the same thing over and over. And like I said, I mean, who really is going to go and sit through this? I mean, what do you if you don't have anything better to do than, I mean, look at the plot. Hellboy works for the BPRD, an international non-governmental agency, and for himself against dark forces, including Nazis and witches. Well, of course. So he fights against Nazis, so that makes him the good guy, right? I mean, I'm surprised they put fights against witches. I guess they're going to say that there's bad witches and good witches, right? Just like the witches who troll my channel. They're like, there's good witches and good magic. Yeah, no, don't think so. In a series of tales that have their roots in folklore, pulp magazines, vintage adventure, horror and horror fiction, earlier stories, he's identified as the world's greatest paranormal investigator. I mean, yeah. Sure. I mean, I guess that's what people probably will come over and defend it and say, yeah, that's exactly what he is, right? His demonic heritage, as well as extensive physical training and bodybuilding. Oh my gosh. People are sitting through this. So the Satan's a bodybuilder as well. Hellboy poses superhuman strength that exceeds the 1-ton baseline. I mean, all right. There's no point in reading anymore. I mean, this is just laughable. I mean, right hand of doom is his weapon that he uses. Concept and creation originated by the drawings of Mike Mignola and a comic invention of a demon with the name Hellboy written on his belt. It says later he became interested in doing creator-owned comics. Sure, because I'm sure he did this. He's some type of Mason, obviously. And then, he's a Satanist, and then they come to him and they're like, oh, let's do this. Let's glorify, we'll just call Hellboy Hellboy. And we won't say it's Satan. We'll have him rise from the ashes. We'll have him become the king, save humanity. Sure, we'll show him on a black and white checkerboard. That's a coincidence. Have them do a bloodbath. I mean, this is just a trailer. Who else knows what's even in the stupid movie? But this is what comic books and these things do. They glorify these characters, right? And people don't realize, like, oh, this the whole superhuman thing, where it's like, well, what's the power of the, Superman or any, I don't even know what the hell, Aquaman. I mean, stupidest stuff, right? What's its superpower, right? This is all part of the transhuman agenda, right? And this is another way for them to continue to glorify magic in an undertone, undermining way, right? The powers that they summon and all this type of stuff. And then they're like, what do you want your superhuman power to be? I want my superhuman power to be blinking, opening my eyes, and having all Satanists on an island, caged, waiting for the trumpets to sound. That would be mine. So this is Hellboy. I mean, this is just another trailer trending on YouTube, that's getting promoted. Like, it's a wonderful thing. Parents will take their kids to see it. Christian parents will take their kids to see it because they're oblivious, lukewarm ones, right? Oh, it's just a movie. We don't know how the brain works. We don't know, how subliminal messaging or any of that stuff works. So we're just going to go. And then on the car on the way there, we're going to put on Katy Perry and let her tell us, bon appetit, how we should eat human. I mean, just, it's ridiculous. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.